Okay, so I've been trying to film this for this whole week and it's been a complete mess, but it is Sunday and it's cloudy here, but I'm gonna give it a go. So I do apologize for the shadows. It's very dark today. We're gonna make these and hopefully I don't blabber on too long. This is really simple, it's really easy, and it's just part of a larger project. I'm gonna try and do more videos so that we can actually get on with the project, but it's a little bit difficult with timing. But what am I saying? You guys know what time is. It's an illusion. When you're at work, it's there forever, and when you want to play, like you want to do these nice things. Ooh, sorry, my sweaty hands. Oh, sweaty hands. Okay. What was I saying? Time. Anyways, you know what I mean. I made these last time, and these are paperclip envelopes, and we're going to use them in our larger journal as well. In our journal, the actual journal that we're going to be making, but these are just elements for that journal. Okay, cool. So I ideally want a cute little booklet within the journal, and you can make it all kinds of different ways. You can put little charms on them, little buttons, and it's really up to you how far you want to go with making it pretty or not pretty. It just, yeah, it doesn't matter. I guess we'll do the simplest one today, and I'll explain what I did here. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, cool. Let's get going. So what do you need? Put these aside. You need some kind of card. Now, you can cut out the shape yourself. I like that it's got this little flap, and that's what gave me the idea to make little journal spaces, little booklets for within a journal. So that will go into a pocket. Okay, I'm just repeating myself now. Cool, so I've got a lot of cats that come here to be fed because I feed all the stray cats in the neighborhood. So I have a ton of these, and that's just from a cat food box. Now the food is in individual sachets, pockets, so it does not actually touch the card. So don't have any card that don't have any food on the card, basically. So if you've got any card that's transferred food particles or whatever, maybe not a good idea to use it. But this is not, and I'm not showing off any brands here for any reasons. It's just because I'm using stuff that normally I guess we'd throw away, but I'm not going to throw it away because I'm going to use it. Okay, so you need one of these, right? When I say these, I mean I've got some instant oats boxes that I bought before that have these perforated pockets with the little flap as well. So anything with a little flap really will do. And we're gonna cut it off, not at that edge, but this edge, so that we can close the flap. But I mean, you can size it, and you can cut our card yourself as well, as said before. Okay, carrying on. So we need that, and then we also need paper. Now I've got a bunch of paper over here and this big old book that I'm just flattening out. So I've already tea dyed or coffee dyed them before, and then they just stay in here. So I'll take a day or so, and then I'll just do paper, you know, in between crafting. So I'm gonna use this one. I'm gonna need 2 sheets of A4 because of the size of the box, and I'm gonna do both sides, and I'll show you what I mean. Now if I'm gonna do a smaller booklet and I'm gonna cut it down, probably just do one for both, you know, sides. This one turned out small because I cut skew and then I had to cut more, and I was skew again and then I had to cut more. But honestly, there's no mistakes that you can make. That's too terrible, because at the end of the day it all works out. Okay, so don't worry too much about making mistakes, just make a smaller booklet, I guess. All right, carrying on. I might use that for one side. Now, some of these papers have torn. I'm still going to use pieces of them. And I might use I like that. I like that.
I like it a lot.
Let's do that. Do that side. And then we also need some notebook pages, which I've also coffee dyed. And they're just in this book to flatten. So I'm going to use 3 sheets, which means there'll be 6 pages, right? Because we're going to fold it in the middle. And I like this. There's already a fold right in the middle. We're going to do that. Cool. That's everything you need. Oh, and you need glue. You need the glue. So let's see. Okay. I've got a rapid dry craft glue that I'm going to use for this. You can use a white craft glue. I think this is PVA. I'm not sure. I got this from a really cool, cheap craft shop in town, and this one was more expensive. Cool. All right. I'm just going to keep that there. All right. So first things first, we're going to stick this and this on both sides. So we're going to do that. And I might just speed up this process. So basically, okay, this is just a sheet to cover my my table, and it's just baking sheet, and I use it over and over and over and over and over again. You can see it's all got splotches and things, but I use this all the time, over and over again, just to cover the. And I like it because when the glue pops on there, it just kind of rolls off, so it doesn't leave any sticky residue for ages. Okay, so just to explain, because I'm going to speed this up, I'm going to take the glue, my strongest glue that I've got, and I'm going to put a thin layer evenly everywhere. Oh, wait, no, jumping ahead. I got to cut this. I've got to cut it first. So I'm going to finalize the perforation. Let's move this to the side. I'm going to finish the perforation, and then I'm just going to cut it. And then I'll cut that side off. I'll speed this up so you don't have to see it. Okay, lovely. That's all done. Cut. Right, so you see there's the booklet if you just use your imagination. See? All right. Now we're going to do the sticking. I'll just leave that pink there. Hopefully it's not irritating your eyes. Just leave my little pink cutting board. Yeah, all right. I would like this to be on the outside because I like the design of the coffee dye that's landed there. This was dyed, like dunked in coffee. Let me show you. I use like a container like this. I did cook food in it and I washed it beautifully. We had a barbecue. I washed it beautifully and now I'm using it instead of throwing it away. So just put cool down coffee, tea. This was tea. I deep dyed it. I've dyed it in there. Like, don't soak it in there for too long because it goes soft and then it breaks. And then I crunkled it up a little bit and I let it on an old towel and I would let it dry, and then I just sprayed some coffee, cooled coffee in a spray bottle just to give that like darker, patchy kind of a look. And it came out all right. I think it's fine. This one was just crinkled a couple of times, like crinkled, uncrinkle, crinkle, uncrinkle. And it's nice and soft, right? Don't worry too much about having these little breakages now. I'm learning how to work with my paper and be more patient. This is just from me being impatient with the paper, so it broke, right? So if you're more patient and gentle, then you know, I just try to rush things, except my filming. Apparently I just blabber on. Okay, so don't worry too much about that because you are going to put glue down, and we actually might do a layer of PVA, maybe just to seal it, and then dry it. You could even do Mod Podge. This is what this is Mod Podge. I did no sealant here because I did a hand stitch all the way around. Now you can do a machine stitch all the way around as well, and that kind of seals it in. However, if you don't go, you see when I mean like loopy, 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 loopy like this, it might pop off on the edges and then it just looks weird. So you could also, like I did with this one, just tear the edges and then it looks intentional, and then you kind of ink it. That's what I did here, but I'll show you. I'll probably do this technique and then we'll Mod Podge it, or we will cut out a piece like this maybe. Let's just move on. All right. This will be inside, that will be outside. Let's do inside first. And I will speed this up. Before I speed it up, make sure you're all the way to the edges. And then I'm also using one of these. This is one like a bone thingy that you use for scoring. It's plastic, all right, that came with my scoring board. I don't like this one specifically. I've got another one, and this one is great for flattening and scoring just because of its shape. So I use this to squish the glue around and move the glue all the way so it's not thick. And so before I speed up, I just want to let you know that is what I'll be doing to move the glue around to the edges, because you want the glue to be all the way to the edges but not overflowing, because otherwise you'll just have glue everywhere and it's terrible then. Okay, let's get going. Okay, I have definitely put glue everywhere. This is rapid dry, so I just want to get going here. I want to use the piece that's less ripped, if that makes sense. Even though we can manage with the rip, I just want to use the piece that's less ripped up. Okay, cool. I'll just stick it on there. Now we're going to smooth it out. We want to make it like a second skin, if that makes sense, on the cardboard, on the card. Smooth it out on there, and you have to do this while the glue is wet, okay? So if you had excessive glue, like thick patches, this will also push it out to the side. And that's also why I like using this, because it won't stick to another piece of paper. It's going to stick, but it won't be like when you stick paper on, you have to rip it off. So that's why I use the baking sheet, the baking paper sheet. Okay, so just smooth it all out, and it keeps its texture to some extent. It's not all crinkled up, but it's got that agey look, and I like that quite a lot. And you can use any paper, really. A thinner paper for this is better because of how we're just putting it like on, you know. So even if you wanted to use scrapbooking paper that's got a design on both sides, then you don't have to do this. You can just cut out the flap. But I'm doing this because I want to use the boxes that I have at home. I don't really like to buy too many things. I want to make things. I buy some things, but I don't even have, for instance, I don't have sticky tape. Like, I've got tape, but I don't buy the printed ones, and we'll just make some, you know. So I might at some point, depending on what I want to make. So it just depends, right? But ideally I want to take scraps that we would be throwing away and then make something from it. All right, so there's quite a bit of glue that came out on this side, and that's perfectly fine. because we're going to stick this side now as well. I'm just going to turn this page around because the glue's still wet. Even though, look at this, it just rolls off. I can do that now. I just roll it off. Look. If you don't have a problem with having glue on your hands, which I don't, then just honestly roll it off and it dries real quick and no sticky anymore. See? Okay, cool. Now, I'm not precious about my nails or my hands, which is maybe a problem. I don't know if that says something about me. But I'm not too precious about it. All right, I'm going to glue this side and stick it. So this is the glossy side. Sometimes the print might reflect through and it might look a little bit darker, like darker patches. But it adds to the, I don't know, the design. So you don't really see any of this shining through. So if you've got a thinner, more see-through paper, then yeah, you're going to see this design. So ideally you don't want that. This is printer paper, okay? That's been tea dyed, coffee dyed, whatever dyed. And so I'll put the thickness of the paper in here somewhere so that you can see, but just normal printer copier paper is perfectly fine. Cool, let's do it. Cool, and I really want to make sure that I've got glue everywhere. Every inch needs glue. All right, I'm going to do the same with this, even though you can't see the effect of the smoothing out so nicely and satisfyingly, like with the previous paper, because it was more crinkly. We're still doing this so that it really sticks on there. What's nice about using this, it's once the glue dries, it just peels off because it's plastic, so that's helpful. Just don't use your glued one to do this, because then you'll have glue all on the outer edge and it will leave that gluey, obviously the glue residue. All right, I'm scoring the sides because I'm going to be tearing off these sides. Which I will show in a second. So I really want to get in there because I don't want the tear of parts of the book over here. All right, so that's important, and ideally I want this to dry before I tear anything, but time is not on our side, so I'm going to just go ahead and tear it and hope for the best. If I've got any patches that lift up over, I can either do a board or, depending on where it is, we'll just fix it. It's not a big deal. We can fix any mistake or any oopsies. It doesn't matter. We'll just fix it. Cool. I'll speed up this section as well. I'm just going to tear off the sides. So I'm not going to be cutting it, because I don't want that smooth edge and then I might have to go stitch it or seal it or whatever. I want the rugged edge, and I'm gonna then, you know, just ink it. And you could also use scissors, the teeth scissors, if you didn't get what I was saying. Okay, cool, done. I might actually just do a little bit of more of a reinforcement there. And because of the paper design, if you do stuff like that, it really doesn't show up too badly. It's just if it starts lifting, then you have an issue, yeah? So you don't want that. So that's why I would totally suggest doing a sealant if you have little bits and pieces like that. So PVA, Mod Podge, anything like that. All right, we'll just let that dry for a little bit. And I want to get that excess glue off. Just pull that piece off. All right, I'm messing up now. I'm really messing up, but I just want to off. But I'm just gonna cut these little pieces now. Excessive. All right, cool. All right, that's fine. I don't have any patience to wait for it to dry today. It's the time. It's the time. Okay. If there's little flaps like that, I actually want that because we're going to get that little effect over there. Real nice and rugged look. And I quite like that. Right. I made the string a little bit too short, and so it kind of just pops in there, and you kind of have to squeeze it in. My little charm behind the, there you go, behind the button. Isn't that cute? Okay, cool. I actually, because of this, might make this the inside now. I know. Sad. Tired. But I'm going to make it the inside. Let's just take this away. Just take all the gunk away. There's little pieces of collages and stuff we can make with this. So I just throw away the scraps, but might use some of the other bits and pieces. Just put that to the side. Okay, cool. Now we're done with the glue, so we don't need that. And we're not going to do any sealant today, but if you did want to, you will just take some PVA glue, water, brush, and then make sure that it dries properly. Now, I'd probably, before you seal it, definitely do the fold first. Okay, so we're gonna actually turn around the fold. I'm just squeezing that down because we're not putting pressure on that, and then it might scrunch up and look ugly, but a little bit of a scrunch is all good. We just don't want it to look ugly, yeah? I'm gonna cut off that little flap over there. My tiny scissors. Didn't quite come out the way that I expected or wanted because I was being impatient with the glue and everything, and ideally before you start tearing, just make sure the glue's dry. Now, you know what? I'm being impatient again because that's still wet, so I'll hold up before we ink the edges, make sure everything's dry, otherwise we've got another lifting and what have you. And also, before you do any sealant with Mod Podge or whatever, make sure that you've already inked the edges, and make sure that your edges that are inked are dry as well. Otherwise, you make the Mod Podge like brownish and then swirl it around and you'll have patches. Maybe not a bad idea because, I mean, it's already pretty patchy. Ooh, there's a thing on there. Cool. Now we are going to take our papers and we're going to make a signature for our little journal space. So I've only got 3 full A4 pages folded in the middle, and you can use old notebook pages that you've tie-dyed. So I'm terrible at notebooks. I have the idea that I will do a notebook and then I write down my to-do list, and then I use like 3 pages. Different with journaling because, you know, you put your thoughts in there, poems, write a song that will never be published. Oh, you know, it's just so crazy to be so talented and undiscovered. I'm kidding. Okay, I'm going to make the signature, and I want to take these lines to guide me. Just lining it up. Okay, cool. Let's use this line and this line to guide. I'm gonna cut it here and there, and and then obviously the top line. I don't want that rounded edge because I can't have it at the bottom, and I don't want this because I can't have it at the bottom, and I just want to be kind of more or less the same. All right, I'm going to cut this down, and then we're going to come back, and I'm just going to use my guillotine to do it, and you can use any cutting method to do it. It's just going to cut it to size, and then the size as well, but I'll speed this up. All right, cool. That is all cut up. So now normally I would have used these little pieces here because it would have been larger to make a space. I'll show you what I mean. A secret space to write, but I looked at the wrong line on the anyways, I just cut it terribly. We'll see. I don't know if I can even use this, but we'll try. We'll try. This piece, however, will make a small little journal out of that, so we'll keep that aside. I might just put that aside and see what I can do with that. Okay, cool. So that's all done. Now we're going to bind it. Yeah, I might do the inking now, because I don't want to ink these pages. Although I did ink these pages, so maybe I should ink these pages.
No, yes, no, yes. No, yes.
Okay, let's do all of that now. I'll speed it up. Okay, it just inked. Now we're going to bind it, and I'm literally going to do just one stitch. Now you can do 3, do more if you want, but you'll have to space them out smaller. I'm just going to do 2, which is what I did on this one. I did do 2 on this one, which is the same size. Maybe I should, I don't know. Okay, let's do 2. 3 hole. We'll do 3 hole. I'm gonna get everything ready, and I'll speed up this section. Okay, all ready. So I'm using like a binding floss type thing that I got with a bookbinding kit, which included this and the needle. Okay. I'm gonna squish my holes through there. Now, don't be like me. Sometimes I pick it up and I look at it and I've got my hand on the other hand. I know. Health and safety. That's number 1 importance. I don't always think of it. Not always the brightest when it comes to anything, really. That's mean. I shouldn't be mean to myself. Okay. All right, I'm just going to line it up. Now, if it's a little bit out of line, I'm all good with that. It doesn't really bother me. It's a rugged little booklet. But, you know, ideally, let's line it up. Cool. I'm going to make first a hole in the middle. I'm going to make sure I'm in the middle. And I'm just poking that through. Cool. Then, I'm just going to stick my thingamabobby in there, my thingamabobby, because I'm going to keep my line. Put my needle through there. See, it's already out of line. You're out of line. Okay. Calm down. Cool. And then I might do the other one over here, which means I'll have to do it over there. Okay, cool. Squeeze it through. Don't put your finger on that end. And then go on this side. Just more or less the same space. And squeeze it through. Yay. Oh yeah. Sorry, I got the sniffles. Okay. Now we're going to bind it. Sorry, I had to blow my nose. Okay, cool. And there we go again, sniffles. All right, so now we're going to do the 3 stitch. So we're going to go through the middle hole, in, and then we're going to leave enough string over here. So I got it about 2 times the length of the book because I'm only doing 3 holes. Okay, cool. Then we're going to go into that hole, into that hole. Ooh, this is hard, making sure you guys can see it too. Into that hole, all the way through. And then we're going to go to the 3rd hole on that end. So 1, 2, 3. So skip the middle hole. Skip it. Ignore it. Cool. We can tighten it up later. Right, through there. So it looks like that. And then through the middle hole again. And we are now in the same spot. Yay. Okay, I need to blow my nose again. Oh man, I really have the sniffles. Okay, we are going to take the needle. And if you like me, oh, excuse me, I gotta blow my nose again. Whoa, what's happening? Hay fever? I don't know. Okay, this is a funny part because I've got so many. I've got a cat, right? And I might tell you about how I got the cat because, I mean, you don't choose to be a cat lady. The cats just come. Anyways, I have a cat and the stray cats come as well, but I'm allergic to cats, so pretty sure a cat might have had a little nap on my table. That could be it. All right, if you're like me and you lose the needle all the time, like I would put it down and I'd magically forget, and then it'd be on the ground and it'd be like this, waiting for me to step on it. I'm kidding. It's not magical. But I lose it all the time, so the first thing I do is just put it back in its place. Okay, so we'll just put it back. I forget. I lose it. I lose it. Oh, so aggressive today. Okay. All right, I'm going to tighten it up nicely. The card is pretty sturdy, so I'm not too worried about ripping anything to pieces or anything, but don't go like, you know, because you might be able to do that. All right, and then you just tie a couple of knots. Now I do 3. I do 3 knots. I'm paranoid that it might come loose, so I do 3 knots. I don't want it to come loose. Okay. Then you will take, I like to leave a little bit, but not too much, you know? Cool, so I don't leave a little bit. Cool, all right. Chuck that. We'll chuck it. I don't know why I keep everything for a while and I'm thinking I can still use it. I can still use it and it just becomes a mess. Okay, but I could still use it, so we're gonna keep it just for now. It's a little while. Okay. Yay! So a little bit here and there out of line. It's not supposed to be perfect. It is junk journaling. It's supposed to look like junk. I'm kidding. It's made from junk, but it's not supposed to look junk. But okay, you know what I'm saying. All right, cool. We have finally bound the little booklet. Brilliant. Now we can do anything. What will you do? I would like to close the back like this one. I think it looked quite nice. And then we might put I'm not going to seal this one. So we're not going to seal it. I think it's quite durable the way that it is. So no sealant on it. But if you had more flaps that popped up like this one, which now is pretty secure in there. Look. Look how nice. That's what you get if you have good glue. Okay, sniffing king, sorry. So I might do this. I might do this again. So I might do a little charm, I think. Maybe. I don't know. Do I want a charm? Or do I just want a simple, maybe something different? Because look, they're all different. So let's do something different. Maybe, let me think. Come here. All right. So I've got this. I've got a bunch of them. I got a ton of them. Where are they? This is just one. Where's the rest? All right. Anyways, I go to the op shops, like the secondhand stores, right? Your op shop, and whether it's Salvation Army or wherever you go, I go and get material from there. So when I say material, they've got a ton of pillowcases and stuff, and don't worry, I washed them. Okay, calm down. Ew, someone else's pillowcases. Listen, let's stop consuming. Let's use stuff that, you know, we can use, okay? We don't have to throw everything away. I washed them properly, okay? They washed. So I used the backing of the pillowcase. Like, this pillowcase was white, and then the front, I wonder if I have it here. I do. I've got it here. Just under my table. Oh, I'm sorry about shaky. Cool. This is the beautiful design of that pillowcase. Look at that. Gorgeous. I'm going to use that for a journal. And the back of it was white cotton. And I was like, what am I going to use that for? What am I going to use it for? And there was a lady online. I was like, wow, she made these little strings that she just coffee dyed from cotton material. And it's got to be cotton, right? So normally the pillowcases, sorry, words elude me most of the time. I don't usually talk a lot. I'm a quiet person. So this is a lot of talking. But I need to talk to you. What? You don't talk a lot? You're a quiet person? You talk all the time. Yes, I know. Okay. So what I'm trying to say is, it needs to be cotton, and then you just kind of rip them up. And then they've got these little frays, and it's so pretty. And the little bits and pieces, the little frame that comes off, you can use again. So I keep them because I'm going to use it for something. I don't know yet what, but this is that little, you know, little box with, I'm gonna use it. I'm gonna use it. Okay. Anyways. I'm gonna use it. Sure I am. All right, we're gonna use this definitely. All right. So I might just do a simple, really simple. Don't look at how I make bows, okay? I'm terrible at it. How about that? Just really simple, and it's different. And I might not even attach it to that, really. I just might keep it loose like that. Loosey goosey. Because if I put glue on, this is going to come through, right? Yeah, it would. It would. So I actually might leave it as simple as just this. I think that's our booklet. I really think so. I don't even want to close that up. I think it looks perfectly fine. You could ink it if you want, but I like it the way it is. I really like it. And I like the simplicity of this one. I don't overthink it too much. And we're using our little cotton bit. That's from a pillowcase. And that's washed. Don't be sad. Don't be upset. It's all good. It's fine. Don't worry. Okay. Okay, cool. That looks brilliant. I love it. And I think we're also run out of time, so we might not even do this. Or maybe let's do it. Okay. I'll just speed up a lot of pieces. All right. So I just want to show you how many different ones we actually have now. Yeah, I'm so bad at making bows. Oh, this is terrible. Where is it? Okay, let me just do it the way that I like. I know it's like a child, but I guess I didn't learn this properly when I was a kid. I don't know. Somebody teach me how to make a bow. Okay? Actually, you know what? I commit to teaching myself how to make a bow from a video somewhere. We're gonna make bows, okay? All right, I will get it right. Look, pretty. This one is, if I just explain, I just took some words, man. Junk journaling or journaling pages, you know, those big book of pages with two sides. I took the side I like because I'd actually used quite a bit of this already, and I had some offcut, somewhat heavy knots, and so I took that for the spine. I messed up this booklet quite a lot. I was skew, I was out, I'd ripped up pieces, it looked terrible, and it ended up being like this. Okay, so I did Mod Podge this one. I think I already explained that. And then I just took a little bit of like wire, you know, and I just put that around. It's just some bronze wire that I closed that up. This is just embroidery string. What do you call it? Again, words. Embroidery. And it's a normal button. I put the button through there. I punched the holes first with my thingamabobby, and then I did it from this side in, see, so that I ended up with my longest string that's actually attached to that. And I put a little charm on there, and I did end up having a little bit too short, but it ends up working. It's fine. It's just to lock it in there, and it's quite sturdy because of the reinforcements that I've popped on there. And there you go. You just lock it into place, and there's your little booklet. Okay, cool. And then this one was just some string that I put a brad in there, popped that through. Obviously I did the stitching as advised. I've got a little bit more pages in here. I think one or two more pages. Yeah. This is 8, I think. Okay, so a little bit more pages, a little bit more thick, and then with the brad, you just put the string at the back. Cool. What kind of string is this? I don't know. I found a packet at the op shop that was like $1. I like these little finds that I get there. Look at this. 20 cents for beautiful little pearl, which I just stuck on there, and I thought it went well with the elegance of the oh my gosh, the words, you know what this is called. Okay, so I will just put it up, and I got that at the op shop as well. Let me see if I can find it. Hello. Okay, my stuff is a mess here because I was crafting the whole day yesterday. And when I craft, everything is like, it's like a bomb, you know, you're just like, all right, so this was $2, but it was at the op shop. So normally if you go anywhere, you'd pay so much more. Okay, so this is the secondhand shop. I don't know what it's called that you're in, but for, yeah, that's pretty good. So 20 cents is even better, but I did like, because there's so much on there. See, it's thick. I was like, well, $2, yeah, I don't know. Ribbon. Oh, thank you. That's right. That's what it's called. It's called ribbon. Okay, so you never know what you're going to find. Even like clearance boxes in some stores, you find really cool things. I found all of these things in clearance boxes, and like these two, they were, I think they were, I kept this, but they were 50 cents each. And then I found these. They were also like 50 cents each in the clearance box. So this was also part of that clearance box. That was not the op shop. This was the op shop. This was the clearance box. So, yep. you just get all kinds of things. And I actually found some small little buttons at the op shop as well. Where did I put them? I should show you. They're so cute. Hello. Hello. There you are. Okay, cool. This was at the op shop as well. Look at those cute little buttons. Gorgeous. And the lady's like, oh, we just got those in. Oh, good find. So we're going to use that for something. So it looks like actually the clearance at the craft store was cheaper than the op shop, but that's okay. I do like these. We're going to use that for something. All right, cool. I like to make things myself unless I can find things at the secondhand shop, the op shop, or at a clearance. Then, you know, I'd buy it. I'd buy it and then use it for sure. But I don't want to spend too much money. I really don't. I feel like we're just adding to more consumerism. That's a word. So I want to use things up, man. Let's just use what we got and look how pretty. We can use what we got and we can make pretty things. I love this one. I'm so satisfied with that. All right. So you can absolutely go wild and make it any way you like. Oh, please. They all just come out really pretty. Oh, so chuffed. Look how beautiful. Just beautiful. Okay, stop it, Michelle. All right, we'll probably put this in a pocket once we've got our journal going, and I promise I will start doing the signatures for the journal, and then we can just elevate those, and we can design them and make them really pretty. But we'll get there. I'm just making a few smaller elements for the journal itself, and I have advised what the theme is for that journal. So I know not a lot of people like to do themes, and honestly you don't have to, but I have so many pictures of like vintage swimwear and stuff like that, and vintage summer stuff, so I'm just gonna go with that. That's gonna be it. All right, let's actually make this little small journal. I'm going to show you just very quickly. I know the video is long, but just from the scrap. So this will also be going into a little pocket in the journal, so we're not wasting anything, okay? And it's just a little secret space. And you can add other pages in there, which I have actually, which I forgot about. But I had little pieces left over from another project, and yeah, so okay. And I think I've got another one here. I can also show you how to make this, but we'll probably do that another time. It's just a tea bag, honestly. It's just a tea bag with some stuff in there, so it's probably self-explanatory. I got another one here as well. You can make them any way you want, really. It's a little nice little placeholder for a journal, so let's actually do that. See what that looks like. I'm getting distracted, I know, that's terrible. Right, there we go. And my horrible looking bow again. Okay, cool. Yeah, lovely, nice, cute. Okay, and this one will just pop in there. All right, I think I don't have to even explain to you what really happened here. What I did is I cut it with my, I don't have to show you, I mean, but I'll explain. Yum yum yum, scissors, and then I just put some string through it. And you got to be like really sure your string's gonna hold. This one I wasn't so happy with because it does loosen up a little bit. It's a little bit loosey-goosey over there, so I might not even use that for a journal. But this one I bound like we did, but I just used one stitch, so exactly the same, but instead of coming in with it, I went out and then I did a little tag on it, which was just an offcut from obviously, you know, the pieces that I used there, and I had made these little bits and pieces. these whole thingies, I don't buy them, I make them. So I had a couple of them. Oh, fingers work. So either that one, and you can put other elements on there, like genuinely. These are just stamps that you put on some card, and like this is what I use my cut-offs for. Like if I've got pieces of cut-off paper, card, whatever, then I just make little elements. And I have a lot of stamps, and I like using that because they last forever, so I don't mind spending some money on that. But elements for a journal itself, I like to make them myself. Not so much about the money. And obviously, yeah, we've got some beads. Look, beads, some paper. I've got a ton of them in another container. I'm just keeping these aside because I'm actually going to use them in the journal, so I'm kind of collecting them here. And that's just an old, like, kids thing. I was thinking of doing something with this, I don't know. And then it's just covered with nail polish, so it gives it that kind of almost plastic finish. It's like plastic, like genuinely. But okay, I'm digressing. What am I doing? What am I doing? Okay, let's carry on. Actually, let's say goodbye. All right, so that is what we made today. Ooh, I want to keep that. Keep it. Keep it. Keep it all. All right. So that's what we made today. Yay. I think it looks beautiful. Happiness. I'm not sure I would say, like, let's do this next time. I'm going to show you what to do. But I'm just going to wing it. And probably in the next one, I think I need to move on and start actually putting this journal together. So briefly, very briefly, I've already started making the signatures, and just a little tip for you guys, right? I don't know if you guys use incense or not. I do. I like incense, and the incense sticks, like I keep them in the little baggie and I put it in a folder, and while I'm busy making stuff for my journal, as I'm building the elements, right, because each piece needs a little bit of attention itself, I just chuck it in to this folder with the incense. And it's not a super strong smell, but it does alleviate that glue smell. So just a little trick, and then when, you know, you open up your journal, it smells divine. All right, see, I've already started making a little bit of things and spices and bits and pieces for the journal. Okay, so we'll probably start building that, and because I'm such a slow worker, I'm guessing we'll do one piece at a time, you know, like we'll do a couple of things, and when I reach 30-40 minutes of the journal, we'll just carry on for the next video, I guess. So yeah, all depends, but I'll show you how to make these. Most of them are self-explanatory, but yeah, just some photos, ephemeras, you know. Right, yeah, cool. Okay, so I will see you next time. Hopefully, maybe, I don't know if this video was helpful or not, or even interesting, so we'll just carry on. I'm just going to carry on making, and I'm not going to pay too much attention to how, you know, slow the views are or whatever. I don't think for me it's about that too much. I just want to share what I'm making, because I'm making them anyway, so sharing is caring. Cool. Thank you so much for joining me today on this rainy day. I really actually had so much fun making these, and I'm so glad it turned out so beautiful. So yeah, I'm excited about our next step towards our journal. Cool. Thanks, guys. Bye.